Hey, Philip Simmons Middle School, it is me, Miss B. This month is Philip Simmons month at Philip Simmons Middle School, and we are going to be doing an art project to honor Mr. Simmons. So hopefully you have already gone on the field trip or are about to go on the field trip, and during the field trip you'll be able to take lots of great pictures of all the artwork that Mr. Simmons has completed throughout his lifetime. And if you're not able to take pictures or you forgot or whatever, no sweat. Your teachers have some visual resources, some pictures that I took, so y'all can use those during the course of this project. So that's fine too. We are going to be making sort of what's kind of like a diorama. It's a way to make your drawings three-dimensional. We're going to be able to pop some of these things out. We're going to do some cutting of paper, things like that. So some of you have seen this that I did a while back. Some of you guys saw this in my classroom of the Emerald City. And this is an idea of what we're doing. Now this one has 3 layers. We are only going to be doing 2 layers in our project to make life a little bit easier. But you can see this sort of gives you a good idea of sort of the end game that we're going for here. So we have the poppies, Yellow Brick Road, and then finally in the last layer is the Emerald City. And you can see here we have 3 layers of paper, kind of a folded piece to keep things popped out and separated. So that's sort of the end game. Obviously we are not celebrating the Wizard of Oz, not this month at least. We are going to be doing, for this project that I will be showing you, I just chose this house. I liked it. It was yellow. It was cute. So I like the gate here also. We have a little bit of scroll work on the field trip. Miss Bain will talk about the C's and the S's, very specific scroll work that Mr. Simmons did. So that's what I chose. That's what I'm going for. Now, I'm not doing the whole entire image. I am zeroing in for my image that I created for this project. I am zeroing in on kind of the doorway portion and the main gate. That's what I'm looking at. You want to look at the main gate because this is what we're talking about. We're talking about Philip Simmons' ironwork and all of his artistic endeavors. So, what do we need for this project? We need some color media, color pencils, markers, crayons, whatever floats your boat. We are also going to need some poster board. Now, every one of y'all needs 2. Now, piece about the poster board. The poster board that we have is slick on one side and kind of more normal feeling, more normal paper feeling on the other side. Try your best to use the normal feeling side and not the slick side. The slick side is very difficult to draw on color, particularly with markers. The markers will beat up and kind of smear and stuff. So the normal paper, more matte side is what you're gonna go for. So you're gonna need a regular old pencil, some scissors, and then eventually you'll need one of these bad boys. You'll need a hot glue gun. And teachers, I will supply you with a hot glue gun on the last day so all of your kids can put the whole thing together. Okay, so here are your steps. So number 1, for my final piece, I just like an arch. You can see in my Emerald City, we have an arch. I like it, but that's just my thing. Y'all can totally keep your pictures square, and you don't have to do any adjustments. But if you want to do an arch, really all you have to do is stack up your papers. Just follow along the very, very outside edge. Just cut the corners a little bit and continue on. And if it comes out a little bit uneven, just go back and trim it up. Just use those eyeballs. It's good to go. That's all you need. So that is how I started my bit. Now, first step, we're going to be talking about the foreground, or the things that are in the front of the picture. So in this particular picture, the thing that's most in front, closest to us, is the gate. And it is the most important part of the picture. So what I started out by doing on one of these half cards is I just started out by taking, the bottom third of this paper and drawing a gate. Now, you have to keep in mind that you want to have a border all the way around the outside of this piece of paper. So what you're going to do is kind of measure out about 1/2 inch on the outside, and you want to keep that edge consistent all the way around. So make a couple marks as you go. Now along the bottom, I did it approximately 1 inch wide, just so it would you would have more to build on top of. So at about an inch, if you go a half inch at the bottom, there's nothing wrong with that. It is totally fine. This is just my preference to have a little bit of a bigger bottom. So half inch, inch, and in between my borders, I made my gate. Obviously it's not done yet, but all I did was I looked at my little visual resource here, I looked at all the details, and I started to replicate what I had in front of me. So that's step one, is I'm going to just complete my gate because that's the only thing that's in front of me. That is foreground. What does it say here? Cut out. So what do you think you're going to do with it? You're going to cut it out. Now, to make it easy for yourself and so you don't stab your hand, so don't do this. This is what nobody wants to see this. Don't do this bit because blood will come trickling down. And we don't want that. We want you to stay safe. So, work smarter, not harder. Fold it a little bit, do a little curve, and just right on part of the line, I don't know if y'all can see that, part of the line, you're just gonna do a little snip. Just to get yourself started, and once you have a little slit, then, oh my gosh, look how that works. You can just go in there and follow your edge, and so you'll stay within that half-inch border and keep it nice and consistent. So that's how you're gonna start to cut out, and then you're gonna end up very carefully cutting around all the top bits. And you don't have to be perfect, just get nice and close, and you can color in if a part is a little thick or something like that. So you're gonna cut out the unnecessary part in your foreground. Then you're gonna work on your background of your piece. Now, the background here of the picture is the door and the rest of the house. Stairs, things like that. Anything that's behind the gate is what you wanna do. So here I started my sketch, and I'm just using the whole back card, and I started my stairs, my window, door, the rest of the house, bada bing, bada boom. I drew it, and then magically it got colored, okay? So you wanna take a period or two, or during your iron horse time, obviously. You're gonna be coloring it up, get it the way that you want. Now, I didn't do this part because it's gonna eventually get covered up. So I have this front part that I also colored. I did a little bit of marker to make that ironwork stand out. This is colored pencil and everything else. And then I took it a step further, and I went ahead and I just cut it so my gate would actually be kind of functional. So if you want to do that, you can. You do not have to. You can keep it solid. Something that would be fun if you kept it solid is if you actually drew what's behind the gate. So if you look and see on your picture what's behind the gate, we have some stairs and a little bit of the door. So you can do that if you need to or want to. So I wouldn't leave it blank white because it's not blank white. So you have your background, foreground. It's going to get stacked together, but right now it's really close and really flat. Hello. Hello. Okay, so to put it all together, this is where the hot glue gun comes in. We have strips. Your teachers are going to get a whole bunch of strips from me. And if these strips are too wide, what do you think you can do? Make them skinnier, cut it down. So you don't need them to be more than, this is about 3 inches long. If they're too long, your thing will be a big old, like, what is this, a puppet. So it'll just be kind of dangly and kind of limp. You don't want that. So you want it to be kind of short, 3 inches, and then you're going to do a little accordion fold. So fold it over, then fold it the other way, fold it over, so it have a little zigzag. Okay, you're going to want a few of these. Now with this one, we did them kind of the long way, and you can do that too. However, I think it's just not as much showing on the side, which is kind of nice. So all I'm going to do with this bad boy is I'm going to take a little dot of glue, not a lot. You don't want it oozing out all over the place, so just a little bit will do ya. And I'm going to put it on the rear. Okay, so I'm going to have a spring coming up on the side, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So again, one more time, little hit, little dot, and then I'm gonna put it on the side. So, boing. Now I can do it one more time. If I needed another one for some support, I'm gonna do one at the top, and I probably will end up doing that. So at this point, what I'm gonna do is line up my bits, and then on the bottom, We're on this last flat one that's sticking up. One more hit of glue. I'm going to do that on my other side. So I have a couple bits of glue on my flat ones. And then all I'm going to do is take a minute. Y'all, hold on. I'm going to put it flat. Line it up. Glue it together. So now I have it glued on the side and it can stand up. So I'm going to do one more at the top here so it's not floppy. So then look, my little functional gate. Hello, anybody home? So here's my little ode to Philip Simmons. I'll stick one more up here so everything stays put. But then, isn't that fun? Isn't that so cute? So that's what we're doing. It should be fun. You can get this done in a few iron horse times. It should be just fine. And if you want yours more detailed, take your papers home, draw, you know, when you're watching TV or whatever, and then you can bring it back so we can put it all together for February 26th, Philip Simmons Day. Goodbye.